Did you ever sell some of your equipment and then later totally regretted it? I sure did. Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So, we all been there, right? You sell a piece of equipment and then later on you'll be like, man, I wish I'd still have this. So, here are 5 of pieces of equipment that I got rid of, plus a bonus. So stay tuned for that. Let's get right to it. The Ibanez FL9 flanger from the 9 series. This little bright yellow 80s box of analog flanging goodness was and probably still is my favorite flanger. Ever since I watched a video back in 2010 from Expert Village. It was about Gary Shot showing the pedal and what it does. This video here.
And with the flanger on, gives you this.
I needed to have the FL9 flanger. I don't know why it had to be the FL9. The BF3 by Boss can do the exact same thing, but for some reason I was obsessed with the Ibanez one. And so I got one. Only 7 years later, in 2017, I found one in perfect condition. Absolutely flawless, no scratches whatsoever, and I loved it. You know the feeling when you finally get exactly what you want? That was it. So why did I get rid of it? I got a new upstairs neighbor in the apartment complex that I was living at the time, and the dude also played guitar. So I invited him over to my place, we talked a little, and then he saw that I had the flanger behind me, sitting on the shelf. And he goes, dude, is that the Ibanez 9 series flanger? I've been looking for this pedal. I'm about to collect the entire series. He had like every 9 series pedal by Ibanez, apart from the flanger. And he's like, would you sell this to me? Because then I can complete my collection. This is the best sound. I love those Ibanez 9 series pedals. They sound amazing with my amplifier. Please, please, please. And I really didn't want to sell it. I told him the exact same story, the video from 7 years ago, yada yada yada, and I was struggling, but at the same time I thought, man, Daniel, don't be such a big baby. You still have the Boss flanger, and why are you so emotionally attached to the flanger? Just give it to him. Whatever, you know, but I didn't sell it to him. He kind of talked me into a trade. He gave me an Eddie Van Halen Phase 90, and I gave him the flanger. So he has the flanger, I have the phaser. End of the story, right? I swear to God, I'm not making this up. 5 days later, I'm browsing the internet, and there it is. A perfect, flawless condition FL9 flanger. And I was about to text the guy, hey, what a funny coincidence. Just when I gave you mine, there's one. And then I checked the location, it was my hometown. And I checked the name of the dude, it was the dude from upstairs. He was selling the entire 9 series. And I was like, fuck dude, I thought this was, you know, somehow the holy grail to your perfect tone with your amplifier. I thought you love all these pedals. And he goes, oh yeah, I'm selling the whole series as a bundle now because that way I can get way more money. Pretty cool, right? I'm into Walrus audio pedals now. Do you have some? And I was like, motherfucker. So never spoke to him again, and I ended up selling the Eddie Van Halen phaser because it just reminded me of how stupid I was, and also I had the Zakk Wylde one, which looks way cooler anyway in my opinion. So that's the flanger story. Number 2, the Boss ME70. Now my first multi-effects unit was one of those zoom pedals here, but the ME70 made me somehow feel like a professional musician, you know? It had everything you'd expect from Boss, high quality effects and tons of cool stuff. It had preamps, distortions and overdrives, which you could combine with the preamp. I used to get the coolest sounds out of it. It had modulations, delays, an expression pedal, whammy, pitch shifter, harmonizer, everything, and it was super cool. I used to play the hell out of this thing. I used it at home in band rehearsals. I gigged with it for years. I even had one of those nice tone flight cases, you know, the ones that you could send around the globe like 3 times without any damage. These things can survive a nuclear war. So why did I get rid of that? Well, at some point I thought it was a genius idea to upgrade to the ME80. So I sold the ME70 for fairly cheap, got myself an ME80. And at first I was kind of happy because the ME80 has more features, more effects, such as the Terra Echo and multi-overtone and stuff like that. Some more reverbs and a couple of more effects in general. But it also is a little bigger than the ME70, but has a way smaller expression pedal. And also the ME80 has those weird double foot controls. It just wasn't for me. So I ended up selling the ME80, and I regret to this day that I sold the ME70. And all I have left is the manual, because I forgot to give it to the new owner. And you know, I've been thinking about getting myself an ME70 again. They go for like $100 on the used market, so I'd probably get one. Damn, I miss this pedal. Number 3, a Marshall Valvestate B chorus. It was a massive sounding big Marshall head. I got it with 2 matching 4x12s. Here's a picture from 2018. Look at 26-year-old me. Look at how proud he is with his Marshall stack. And what's that? A Boss ME70. I told you, I played the hell out of this thing. You know, this amplifier had all the tones. It had nice clean tones, 2 overdrive channels, channel 1 and 2. It went from light bluesy overdrive to full-on death Chuck Schuldiner sounds, because, you know, I mainly bought this amplifier because of Chuck, because I knew he pretty much all throughout his career used Marshall Valvestates, but also because of the chorus, because it had a stereo chorus. You could hook up to 4 cabinets to this amplifier, and that's what I did. At some point I had like 4 4x12s, and I had the thickest and widest, most badass chorus distortion sounds ever that Zakk Wylde himself would have been jealous, I tell you that. So why did I get rid of this? Well, at the time I was playing in a band of 3, the drummer left us, so we couldn't find a new one. Then I had some personal drama with the bass player, who was this 52-year-old dude. We had different opinions, so he left as well, and I was alone. And although I pretty much always had people coming over asking me, dude, what is this amplifier? What are you using? This sounds massive, dude. What is this? It was just not an amplifier I would use at home. Also, these amplifiers tend to break. Like a lot. I had to have it repaired like 2 times, and so not the most reliable amplifiers in the world, but if and when it worked, god damn it, what a sound, man. But I sold it anyway, and I deeply regret it now. Number 4, this is a quick one, my Line 6 and modelers. I used to own the DL4 and the MM4, and I also gigged with them, but they were just these clunky big pedals. They needed a special power supply, and that was getting annoying. And also at some point I got myself one of these, an M9, so I didn't need the big units anymore, because this emulates all of them and it sounds exactly the same. So I ended up selling these pedals for well over $100. It was alright. I, like I said, didn't really need them anymore, but sometimes I wish I'd still had them around, just simply due to the fact that they are a quarter of a century old now, and whenever I whipped them out, people were appreciating them. They were like, oh nice, I used to have one of those. Pretty cool that you're keeping these old units alive. So, kinda unfortunate that I sold them, but whatever. Number 5, my Schecter Hellraiser. It was my most valuable guitar. It played amazing, had my favorite EMG pickups, 81 and 85, had those nice Grover tuners, stayed in tune perfectly. It was just super awesome. Really nice to play, perfect guitar. Why did I sell it? I was just desperately in need for some money. My car broke down and I needed it to be fixed, and I needed to sell one of my guitars. And if you know this channel, then you know I don't have the most valuable guitars. I'm rocking a Epiphone Explorer instead of a Gibson, or LTD instead of ESP, Squier Stratocaster instead of a Fender Stratocaster, so you get the point. The Schecter was just the most valuable guitar. And so I had to sell it. I didn't want to, but it was kind of necessary because, you know, I need my car. But dude, it hurts. It really hurts to this day. All right, last one. I told you there would be a bonus, right? So the last one is a little unusual for a guitar player, but you may or may not know that I also play the drums. So the last one is my drum kit. I once played in this black/death metal project. It was not even a real band, it was more like a project, and I was asked to play the drums. So I needed a drum kit, and I bought this very nice green pearl drum kit from back in the 90s. I don't remember the model, I have no idea about drums, I just play them. So I upgraded it. I bought an extra floor tom and a gazillion crash cymbals and also a second ride cymbal. Now you might wonder, why do you need a second ride cymbal? Well, that's why. Man, I used to love that drum kit. It was my stress relief, you know, and also it was just nice to learn another instrument. Why did I get rid of it? Well, the band was not longer existing, as always. That's why I became a rather unsuccessful YouTuber instead of playing in actual bands. We had to split up, and the rent for the rehearsal room was just too expensive. I also couldn't just take it home and play it here. Impossible. So I had to sell it. And now it's probably in someone's garage and being played by some kid who doesn't even appreciate it. But what do I know? It's gone. And it breaks my heart, dude. So anyways, that was my little list of things that I got rid of and deeply regret now. There are plenty more, but I think the video is already long enough as it is. And also it's your turn now. Let me know down in the comments below, what piece of gear did you sell? And do you regret it? Did you even lose sleep over it? And would you buy it back someday? I would like to know. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.